The one you won. How do you roll for PE though? What am I supposed to do, man? What do you got? Share them.
Good morning. So my mom made homemade salsa, and so I packed some in a little container from the store.
Oh, that's nice, a little like that.
So I wouldn't forget to get his recipe from
Oh,
I
yeah.
told my mom about it. She's like, "Oh, try it."
That's cool.
Okay, so tell me why the lunch dude has to be so rude for this. Okay, I bought my breakfast and then I put it in my lunch box and then I got to go to court. So I went to go to court and he's like, "We don't supply silverware and bring it from home." And I'm like, I just bought my breakfast from here. Like,
Yeah, they don't like you taking their stuff up there.
it's like, okay, I
It's
put my
like-
stuff in my lunchbox and then I go down court because I forgot to. And he's like, "Bring it from home, they don't supply somewhere." And I'm like, "Well, that's what it's there for."
Giving it to you.
It's because he didn't see your breakfast, so he thought you were like.
It doesn't matter. It's not like he's paying for it. Like, it's not even a business. It's the state's paying for it.
Oh my god, you have to be a dick.
Huh?
Yours is so good. You know where you get lunch at? On the other side, you know how you get lunch on the other side, the other lady's really rude.
Are you gonna close that? You walk in the rooms with closed doors and leave them open. Yeah, okay.
I'm that guy. You look like someone from
You always say that.
Of course, because you can tell what's the ears like this. Juice?
I don't know yet.
Need a borrow?
Huh?
Need a borrow? You guys, they're not bringing up.
That happened to me before, like when I was a kid.
It doesn't, it's not all, somebody told me it rains every Halloween, is that you, Ty Tanisha? Did you tell me it rains every Halloween?
Yeah.
Does it? I think it depends on where you are.
Bubba, if you're like in Bangladesh.
No, it's not supposed to rain till Friday.
Not good.
Screen says a lot.
That black screen says a lot.
Oh, please, and it rains,
So
and
what?
it rains like nearly every day.
And Bangladesh, it rains every day.
Yeah, well,
Been there a
mostly, yeah, Bangladesh has one of the wettest climates in the whole world.
You go there a lot?
No. By no like the most, by no it's one of the wettest. Well, Hawaii is the one that has the wettest weather in the United States.
Sure. That seems probably correct. I've been there, it's pretty wet in certain parts of it.
Yeah, like in the ocean. You know, water's pretty wet, right?
Well, I mean, like, part of it looks like a forest. And then
Yeah,
part of
rainforest.
one side of the island is always a forest, and then the other side is like a city.
Which island?
I don't remember, I was only 7 at the time.
You can see our far away from here.
Your screen brightness is way too low.
Yeah, I feel like.
I can barely make out a white shape in the middle. It keeps shifting back and forth. Still can't tell shit.
Sorry. Yeah.
You watched it. What is it?
Mr. Wallace,
Was it edible?
It's for next time.
my mom is.
It is what?
Wow, thank you.
It is
And
what?
my mom wants to know your
What is
salsa
it?
recipe, so I need to write it down.
It's what?
I'll write it down for everyone. You guys want a salsa recipe? Thank you.
Oh, yes.
You know what? Do what's awesome?
Oh, nine.
Is that I got potatoes and eggs today, and I brought ketchup, and I don't really. This is
Is
perfect.
that your salsa, Wallace?
This is
No,
my
I
salsa.
just made
We
my
tried
mom
it.
make that.
This is not the salsa that I
So
made.
you made that, Mr. Wallace?
All right. Do you guys want a salsa recipe? If you want a salsa, take out paper and pencil, and I will give you my salsa recipe.
How many ingredients is it?
How much does that weigh?
Why would I want to call
1,000
pages.
pages. It's too heavy. It hurts a lot like this. You hit it somewhere.
Oh, I said yeah.
Or hit it like this, it hurts.
I remember not too long ago, it was
Here's my salsa recipe.
kind of sat on your chest.
It's a 222, man.
By the way, it was funny of you because of your face.
We call it walsa. Get it?
And
Walsa,
the
That's
walsa.
pretty good
Hey,
there.
nice haircut.
Thanks.
It's kind of freaking me out. Okay. Tomato. Now I'm going to put a question mark. So, to me, salsas, it's a visual thing for me. So if you like a really red salsa, use a lot of tomatoes.
Are
So
they
you're gonna
fresh?
have to figure it out. Are they fresh?
Fresh tomato?
No, find like tomato. Okay, I'm sorry. No, I got you. I got you. Fresh. Gotta be fresh. All right. Tomato. Go 2 jalapenos.
Jalapenos. The jalapenos.
Or serranos. 1 or half bunch of cilantro. Now, I like lots of cilantro. Some people, my kids find it overwhelming
I like it.
if I use a whole bunch. Okay? So I go at half a bunch. Excuse me. Dude, really?
It means you farted.
Okay.
More important.
2 cloves garlic. 1 or half white onion. Again, if you like it oniony, use a whole onion. If you don't, go half. Okay? Half squeeze of fresh lime.
Wait, Mr. Wallace,
Yes.
I just noticed you named it Walsa.
Dude, really? That ship sailed a long time ago. half squeeze of fresh lime.
one half of a lime.
Yeah, you cut out a lemon half and squeeze it, right?
Yeah.
Just like take a whole lime and squeeze it.
And then,
It says a half squeeze of lime. It doesn't say squeezed half of a lime.
I say one half fresh lime
Yeah.
squeeze.
Yeah, one half. Yeah. That works.
and then I'm gonna write this.
So like you're half your squeeze. You
Yeah,
half
yeah.
the squeeze. It's so hard to do.
It's like a pinch.
And then salt and pepper to taste. So like I use a grinder. So like I get, peppercorns. I put them in a grinder and I usually do about 15 grinds from a peppercorn. And then I'll do sea salt in a grinder and I usually do about 10 grinds. So tomatoes, what's that?
That's a lot.
That's a lot? Not really. I mean, it's
Is it a big thing of salsa?
I mean, I usually use 6 to 8 tomatoes. So here's what I do. This is what it looks like to me. I'll go 2 jalapenos and 2 serranos. I'll do 8
so that's
tomatoes.
Ands, not an or.
What's that?
That's supposed to be ands, not an or.
No, well, I mean, I don't know how much you guys like. I'm saying this is so this is like the minimum.
You make a lot of it though.
Yeah. Mine lasts the whole week and I'll put it on everything that I make pretty much. So if I eat eggs in the morning, I'll put it over my eggs. If I make a burrito, I'll eat like a burrito at night. When I get home from school, I'll get some blue corn chips and eat it with the salsa. That'll be my snack. So I'm constantly eating salsa when I make it, okay?
How spicy is it?
Depending on how many jalapenos or serranos you use. If you prefer like what is it called? What's the orange? Kind of looks like a tiny pumpkin. A habanero. I use habanero. Yeah.
Oh.
Yes. And then you grind it. I use a blender. If you use a blender, chop it up real fine and put the tomatoes at the bottom. That'll give it some. That'll make it. That'll make it liquidy, and then it'll grind all the other stuff. If you stick like the garlic and the onion and the cilantro in first and the tomatoes on top, then you're going to be constantly having to shove the stuff down until the tomatoes make it liquidy. Yes, you were trying to ask a question.
So you do blend it?
Well, I use a blender. Some people, you could use a Cuisinart, a food processor. What's that?
I'm on blend. If you put the tomatoes and the jalapenos, or not, I don't know what they are, but they look like jalapenos.
Does she roast them first?
Yeah, she puts them.
Okay, so guys, some people will roast that. So if you do, what I'll do is I'll rub a little bit of olive oil on them, put a little sea salt on that, and I'll roast them. You can roast the peppers. I don't like peppers roasted though. I don't like a roasty flavor to my salsas. I like a really crisp, vegetable-y flavor.
Do you roast them on a barbecue?
You just stick them on a baking pan
Oh,
and then put them in the oven and roast them until the skin kind of bursts. And
I thought you liked the shrubbery flavor.
Something to throw.
I know, right?
Something heavy.
So that's the walsa. Okay. And then, I mean, all of these things you can, so depending on what you like, the onion and the garlic, that's kind of, I use 2 to 4 cloves of garlic, and then I do a whole onion. Some people don't like too much onion. I like a lot of onion.
Me too.
Yeah. I'm like, you can never put too much onion. Well, that's not true. I made an enchilada one time. I got Mrs. Mason's recipe for enchiladas, and she said, okay, and add onion, and I added I did a whole bunch of onion, and I ruined it.
Hate onions.
I made it for my kids. They're all excited. They sat down to eat it, and they're like, this is terrible. Tastes like onions, and I was like, yeah, I experimented. Should have. Okay, so that's that. Yes.
Is Austin here?
Probably. He's right there.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
You know the problem is, as soon as you ask me, I was like, man, I can't find him.
Austin, I am so sorry. I was
No,
looking
you're
back
right,
at my
Cynthia.
calendar,
Here,
so that's where you sit for sure. I see you're here.
See, I got my potatoes and eggs. Huh? I gotta smell this. Oh my goodness.
She oven roasts her tomatoes,
That doesn't go good with your
Oh,
You're just gonna have to do yourself.
and she puts some jalapeno. I actually made the salsa, by the way.
Is was that your imitation of curly?
Isn't it so good?
oh my God.
So we're still, are we still having the party tomorrow? I'm
Crap.
We forgot.
Well, I haven't got anything. Glad you reminded me. Okay, so do you guys want to have a Halloween party?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Set for. Oh yeah, 135.
Halloween party, what the hell?
Oh my God,
I
that's
might not be
really
here
good.
tomorrow.
One night, Trevor.
I'm going to
I know what I'm eating tonight.
Yeah.
Oh, you're going to the Dodgers game?
Doctor.
Oh, doctor.
Doctor's
I'll say, man, you guys must be loaded, because I bet the cheapest ticket is like $1,000, probably $500 for the cheapest ticket.
My,
to the
my,
World
my
Series.
mom would not let me go to school for something like that. If she's not.
Okay, you guys want to do it, so do we, what are we bringing?
Are we doing a potluck style party?
Do you guys want to do that tomorrow?
Yeah,
What?
You know.
How many people want to take part? Does everyone want to take part in it? I mean, not everyone has to be, it'd be nice if everyone, let's get at least 4 people to bring something.
Can you bring pizza?
Can you bring Walsa?
What do you want to bring?
Candy.
The hell?
Mr. Wallace.
It's Halloween. What do you expect? God.
Candy? Okay, candy. We got candy. What else?
Can you bring Walsa?
Yes.
You want me to bring Walsa and chips?
Yeah.
I'll bring Walsa and chips, that's fine.
Not too much onion, Mr. Wallace.
Yeah.
Too much onion?
Put more jalapeno in it.
2 days from then? Nah, we can't.
And you got more friends bring pizza.
You can bring pizza. Your mom rich.
Okay, yeah, we should go buy some pizza.
Let's get really cheap Little Caesars pizza.
Now pizza is, it's too much of a hassle. to bring.
Yeah.
I don't want to bring cold pizza. Let's just bring stuff. Okay, hold on, let's think about this. So,
Well, I'm gonna read the salsa.
bring candy, what else? You guys want me to bring like Pringles? More snacky type of shit, or you?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, I'll bring 2 cans of Pringles. Alright, would that be enough?
Or Mr. Wallace, how about the little, you know, the little snack to go cups? Those are
Of
supposed to be
Pringles?
easier. Yeah. 'Cause
Somebody
then
needs to
we
bring
would have an
sodas.
individual.
They
I'll
would.
bring sodas. And I'll try to bring cupcakes or something.
Okay, you bring the candy, I'll bring chips. Just do one thing. Are you sure you want to bring sodas?
Yeah,
That'd be
we
kind of heavy.
We have a lot of sodas left. We
Okay.
have a lot of
Okay, alright, you bring soda.
I can bring something like pizza because this is my
Yeah,
first
that's
period
the
of the
one
day.
I'm
I'm
trying
just
to
saying
decorate.
something
Yeah.
more.
Yeah, you're from the inside, you're kind of big, you know what the heck?
Let's, whose food is on the floor?
It's not mine, I don't eat school, no, that's nasty.
It's mine.
Let's not leave it on the floor.
Let's not.
Because I'd see Ernesto getting up and be like, oh hell no, I'm leaving, and then stepping on it.
It's tricky.
CRS was literally right
Thank you.
here.
Mr. Wallace, can I?
You don't have to ask.
Well, the passes are there.
Just leave your phone
Well, we're out
though. Leave your phone.
Hey, dude, close the
Thanks for
door.
leaving your phone. Thanks for giving me the power.
Oh, Mr.
So
Water.
much respect to that.
Okay, so we got chips, we got soda, we got candy. Anybody bringing anything else? Nico, what you gonna bring? Don't be hiding behind your backpack. You got that Greek food you could bring. You gotta bring some galagabulako.
About what the hell?
Euros.
I need to call your mom.
Yes?
I can bring some brains.
Brains.
It's like a pastry that I made. It's like.
Why don't you bring that instead of soda?
Jello?
I can bring both.
I don't want anyone to have to bring 2 things. I
But I offered.
don't. True, but still.
I don't know if I'm gonna be here by then, so I'll try to
Hey,
bring
Miss
something.
Little is having a party.
Okay, let's just have someone bring one more thing and then we're good. What you gonna bring? Can someone bring cookies?
I can bring cookies, yeah.
You can bring cookies? Alright, so we got cookies, we got chips, we got candy, we got brains
And soda.
and soda. Alright, that should be enough.
And Walsa and chips.
I'll bring,
I'm not, you know what, I'm not gonna bring, look. It'd be so much easier if I could just bring Pringles.
Yeah, bring Pringles.
I don't, because tonight's my late night and then like bacon stuff and I did not plan on preparing anything.
I'll bring
I
my
think potatoes. I'm
sacrifices.
just gonna make potatoes tonight. What's that?
I'll bring sacrifices.
Yeah.
Bring somebody to beat you on the head with a big stick.
Okay. Alright, so you got our American government books.
On this
Yes.
stuff, I couldn't find a movie.
With a stick.
The movie?
Person with a stick.
Oh, which movie? Caroline?
Baseball bat.
When were we gonna watch that? At the end of the year, right?
Oh, yeah, we still gotta watch it.
Oh, during the party?
Yeah.
Well, wait a minute, I thought we were going to watch Napoleon Dynamite during the party.
Oh.
That's our government movie.
Let's do that.
Yeah.
What is Napoleon Dynamite?
We do have a block here. Let's do this. Let's do this. Save Caroline for the finals.
What is
I'll put it
Carol?
back.
Oh, you couldn't find it. Got you. Oh. Well, what are we talking about?
Hey, Mr. Water.
Yes.
Miss Water, having a party.
Are you watching the movie though?
No, they're really.
I can't do, not when he's teaching. Only when I'm done. And the thing is that, no, did you just call me don't be, did you just say don't be a lame ass? Plus, here's what you gotta remember, like, we've already done it this year. You wait till they're watching a movie and it's a hot, like, May day, and they're really tired, and people are like just drifting off to sleep. That's what causes people to pee. You get them when they're all awake and it's a cold, you know, and it's, no, they're already all tensed up and they're not gonna, they got control of their, like, you know, bodily functions. You get it when everything's relaxed, like, you know, yeah. That's how you make people pee. That's still my goal. I will be able to retire once I can scare someone so bad they pee. Now, I did make someone cry. Felt bad about that. Not too bad.
Who do you make cry?
There's some girl in there, and he said, "Oh my God, you made somebody cry." You know, if she complains, I'll talk to her parents. So apologize. That's like giggling.
That's some of the stuff.
And then I made a boy scream like a girl. I was really. I think it might have been Josh Davis.
Oh, that's great.
I can't remember. It's when was he? No, he would have taken it as a sophomore. The freshman or sophomore take world history? Sophomore. Or sophomore. Sophomore?
Yeah.
I was a sophomore.
Okay, so it must have been when he was a sophomore. Oh, I didn't know. That was a good one. Why did I just sit down? Take out your American government books.
Okay.
No, you can't talk.
Yeah.
That's Friday.
All right, guys, take out your American government books. Year use. The year 2012, Kelsey O'Malley had this book. Is that your book? Hello? Is that your book?
I'm the only one who ever used it. According to the front of it.
You know that for...
I said I have my book.
I said, is this your book? And I pointed at it, and you said, yeah. You're killing me, Smalls. You're absolutely killing me. Good God,
I just finally figured it out. It is true.
Are we supposed to have all the chapters up to 12?
Yep.
Wow. We were studying for that.
So we're going to read a little bit today in class. We're just going to talk. I'm going to have you guys, we're going to jump back. There's things that we skipped that I had you guys working on chapters that we didn't discuss because at the time I was testing people for IEPs, doing IEP paperwork. So I don't want to, I want to capture like some of the stuff that we I want to talk a little bit about our legislature, about our Congress, and I want to talk about how that works. I want to look at Congress, the House of Representatives, and our Senate. Okay, you guys know coming up we have another what they call a midterm election. So there's going to be a vote for various congressional seats. So I want you guys to understand something about what's at stake, how they do things, how our Congress runs. Okay, when we talk about Congress, we're talking about two houses. What are the two houses we're talking about? One house is? What's that?
No,
Okay, we're talking about the legislative branch, yes.
The House of Representatives.
The House of Representatives, and what's the other house, Nico? Nope.
Senate.
Thank you, Nico. We got the House of Representatives and we have the Senate. And together, they make up the legislature. And here in California, we also have our own kind of house. Our assembly would be basically our Congress, okay?
Is it like
The state assembly. It's made up of senators, it's made up of representatives, whether they're district reps, etc. Okay? And the executive head of our assembly, of course, is the governor. Okay? All right. So, I'd like everyone right now to turn to page 264. That'd be 264, Trevor. Not going to find 264 on your cell phone there. Page 264. Mr. Taylor, hold on.
I told them.
3 minutes. Wait. Do you want me to, so are you starting the movie now or are you starting with 3 minutes?
I'm gonna start right now.
Okay, 3 minutes.
Oh,
Okay.
no.
I wanted to be good. This class is so dead right now. I wanted to see it.
I was thinking. I'll get a preview for you.
Wallace, I swear to God.
Did you just?
Thank you, that.
Did you just?
Dad?
Hi, Minecraft.
That makes me want to shoot myself.
I wanted to.
When people dab, I consider
Oh,
It's so
stop
Wallace
it.
dad. It's the wall.
Trevor, don't shoot yourself. Call the suicide.
You know, of all the things to
Call
be
the
upset
Christian
with in
ones
the
against
world,
death.
with all of the world's inhumanity and injustices, watching a 52-year-old man dab is really what's, I mean,
I can yell at you about that. I can't yell about, like, people.
all those injustices. Sure you can. All right, so are we all on page 264?
Are you gonna scare him? Or scare him? When?
In 3 minutes,
Feels like
told me to come in 3 minutes. So we just wait for 2 more minutes.
Yeah, we should wait.
Silently, let it build up.
Yeah, go.
I wish I brought I have a Nacho Libre mask.
Oh,
I could put that on. I did that one time, scared me. I just put my head in, and I grabbed the drapes and I came and freaked out.
Wallace, you're a madman.
Yeah.
I remember the first time it was my son. I shaved my beard or I shaved my beard. I moved out here. I had this very thick, long beard, right? This was in 2001, and I had to shave it to work at my uncle's. My uncle's like, you cannot be a manager and have a beard like that. You have got to shave it. I said, okay, fine. So I shaved it, and I walked into the living room. My son was like 1 and a couple months, right? Probably 15 months old. I walk out in the living room. He sees me and he screamed. And he ran to his mother and was crying. He had no
Without your
idea.
beard?
It was just this straight, and I walked out like this.
Different person.
Scared the hell out of him. Okay, we got another minute.
So
I was really, I gotta fart though. I hope I don't, when I do it, I don't want to end up pooping myself. What? Stuff like that happens.
You already started them.
Huh? I can give it another minute or two. See, here's the deal. This is really what's happening. Now, I don't want to call my buddy out, okay? But he knows I might scare him, so he's trying to control when I scare him, so he doesn't get scared. You see what's happening? You
So
see
you
the
have to wait
psychology?
you wait like 5 minutes to do that.
I should wait until like that. Well, it might be a short movie.
Should go now.
So basically, guys, what we're going to end with, although we're going back and we're talking about the Congress, We will talk about some very basic things with Congress, local government, how it runs, and then the Constitution, we're going to look at specific amendments, okay? And some Supreme Court cases. And that's what our final will be on. I have not graded your midterm yet. I took them home this weekend and forgot to grade them. So those of you who are waiting, I know there was one of you asked when I'm going to grade it. You think it's time? 30 more seconds. Sounds really loud, but
No.
I'm the cheetah problem.
You gotta do the stretches.
You did go do that.
Yes. Do it.
Imagine if the Indian water.
Oh,
From that side.
throw hands.
Imagine like if someone went scared of like.
They didn't say a word. What? He got you?
He set me up.
There's nobody in there?
No, they're
They
were
just
like,
started
He
quiet.
told you. Or
I
told you.
think they knew.
No, buddy.
That's messed
Did
up.
he say you?
He's trying to embarrass you.
No, there was
One song was like.
Should I go get this side?
Yes. By
Just do it.
Do it, do it.
Yes, do it.
Do it.
Oh,
Scare Evie.
Oh.
I'm afraid of what might happen.
He needs a D-bag. Like, you should just beat it out.
Just stop that. Don't talk like that about another teacher. Come on.
I like the way you teach.
When you just watch movies all day, he doesn't have it on Fridays.
Page 264, terms of Congress. Each term of Congress lasts 2 years. Libby, how many years does a term of Congress last? Oh, maybe you could put that away, then you would know. 2 years, people. 2. Congress begins its first term. Oh, began its first term. We don't need to know that. Okay, a session. Nico. What does a session refer to? Can we put away phones, please? If you want phones out, if you want a headphone in, Ernesto, you need to have your book open to 264. Phones need to be put away.
Yeah.
You don't have a book? You know what?
What?
Oh, yeah.
I can't use that book.
Sure you can.
No, I can't.
This gives me a headache when I wear these and I walk around and I look at it because everything's really blurry.
Well, you said 264?
Now, I'm gonna start taking phones. If I don't see phones, put away. Put away the phone.
264?
I did say 264. Put away phones.
Probably this wall.
Nico, how long does a session last? What does a session refer to?
Why is Mr. Cole in there?
Okay, Congress, and of course, what makes up Congress again? Tyler?
People.
What makes up the Congress, Libby? Said this at the beginning of class.
2 years?
What makes up your mama? Your mama makes up Congress. The House of Representatives and the Senate.
Yeah.
Okay, so a congressional term lasts how many years? Xavier? 2 years. But a session of Congress is that period of time during which each year Congress assembles and conducts business. There are 2 sessions in each term of Congress. 1 session each year. Okay? And Congress is made up of the House of Representatives and the Senate.
There's a picture of Mr. Cole in here.
What's that?
There's a picture of Mr. Cole on the book. It's really funny. He looks a lot older.
And then if there needs to be, I have a question for you guys, Devin. This is for all of you, okay? If Devin can't answer it, I might call on one of you, and I'm going to keep it a secret who I might call on. So I hope all of you read this so that you're all ready. So Devin, here's the deal. If for some reason Congress needs to be called into session, let's say both sessions have already occurred for any given year, can there be another session, or is that it? So as you guys look at your books, right, you got 264, 265, are you looking at your books? Are you looking at the heading? Do you see sessions? I don't know, maybe take a glance at 265. What do you see? Oh, there's this section called special sections.
And there's Mr. Cole.
There's Mr. Cole. So can Congress be called back for a third or fourth term? You guys are gonna say yeah.
Oh yeah, there's Mr.
Trevor,
Wallace,
who can call the special session?
somebody who is the president.
The president can call a special session, okay? So I will read. Only the president may call Congress into special sessions, a meeting to deal with some emergency situation. Only 26 special sessions of Congress have ever been held, that is, as of the writing of this book. President Harry Truman called the most recent one in 1948 to consider anti-inflation and welfare measures in the aftermath of World War II. All right? Yes?
How many special sessions are there right now?
I don't know. So I don't know how many if there, but let me ask you guys this. If the last one was called in 1948, where are you going back to? School?
No.
You're at school.
That's fine.
What is he looking up? What are you looking up?
Good word to describe you.
Picaresque. You guys know what picaresque is?
Picturesque.
No, picaresque. You should know.
Picaresque.
As artiste. Really? You think that's what I said?
What does it mean, Wallace?
I don't know. It's some movement in art. I don't remember.
M-R. Libby, what does it mean?
I don't know what it means.
Oh
I don't know
my
everything.
god. Oh. Fuck. Now we're gonna end that.
Okay, something you're going to hear about will be districting. Okay? And you might hear about this later about how districts are drawn up. There's a lot of controversy, there's a lot of debate between the Republicans and the Democrats as to how a district should be drawn up.
It's a type of fiction.
Picturesque
Yeah,
is
fiction.
a type of fiction. Okay, so
Yeah,
it's a
genre
movement in-
fiction in which a low-class hero will survive their own myths, blah, 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 blah.
That'd be me, low-class hero. That's what I am.
A hero of what?
You distinctly said you were middle class earlier in the year.
Well, no, now I'm middle class.
Okay.
But culturally speaking, I'm low class, right? The 400, and we're on page 270, everybody turn there. Okay? The 435 members of the House are chosen by the voters in 435 separate congressional districts across the country. Recall that 7 states now each have only 1 seat in the House of Representatives. There are, then, 428 congressional districts within the other 43 states. The Constitution makes no mention of congressional districts. More than half a century, Congress allowed each state to decide whether to elect its members by a general ticket system or on a single member district basis. Under the single member district arrangement, the voters in each district elect one of the state's representatives from among the field of candidates running for a seat in the House of that district. Most states quickly set up single member districts. Several states use the general ticket system, however. Under that arrangement, all of the state seats were filled at large, that is, elected from the state as a whole, rather than from a particular district. Now, there's a lot of people during the last presidential election, prior to the election and after the election, and this happened during, the times that, since I've been alive, that it has been most debated has been during the Obama administration and during this last election. Let me ask you guys something. Do you guys believe that a president should be elected through the popular vote, or do you believe in the electoral vote?
I don't know what the difference is.
Oh, you don't know the difference? Okay, and I think that if you believe whichever system you believe in, then you probably are someone who would believe in an at-large candidate for a district seat, or you would believe in a single member district vote. The electoral system is, the popular vote is whereby every citizen who is qualified gets a vote, and we would elect our president that way. The electoral vote, now you guys have to understand why the Electoral College was first put into place. You guys know about the Electoral College? No? Yes?
No.
Okay.
Yes.
So here's what we're going to do. We're going to let the book teach us about the Electoral College.
I think it's better to use the electoral college.
Why?
People are stupid. They
Okay.
are based on emotion.
Okay.
And people have declining intelligence as the years go on.
Come on, people have evolved bigger brains throughout the years.
Besides your brains having community intelligence,
More but the number of folds does.
yeah, because you can have higher density of neurons, but you know, what are they called? Brain cells.
Is that it? Just the two of you are going to debate it? So you believe that people are too stupid to be given the responsibility to vote in a president? And you believe that we have evolved and that we're intelligent enough to, yeah?
Have you talked to like real people? And
We're real people.
Yes, yeah, exactly. That's my point. Like, how do you do that?
Wait, are you using me? You're pointing at me as you say that. So, do you guys understand the debate that they're having right now? We have the electoral vote. Let's read about the history of the electoral college.
Well,
Hold on. You have your hand up, yes.
Maybe they could calculate an average of both and put it together, maybe?
That would make no sense because if they average of both, it's like millions of, I don't even know how many people.
We're gonna jump ahead to page 365. Excuse me, guys. So this system that was created back at the founding of our nation is still in place today. And there's a lot of people who believe that that system is obsolete. And there's some people who believe that, hey, we should maintain the system. So most recently, you guys know that Donald Trump was voted in by the electoral vote, not the popular vote. That he lost the popular vote by about 2 million, I think it was.
No, it was way less.
It was a way less? What
Yeah,
was it?
it was a couple 100,000 actually. It was a really small.
Oh, okay. So on page 365, oh, interesting, that a year is 365 days. And I'm asking you guys to turn to page 365.
Okay,
Huh? Is that a coincidence? What are you working on right now?
this phone.
So why do you need that for that? Huh? Put that away. The framers gave more, get your frickin' foot off of my foot.
Just admiring your shoes, that's all.
You're admiring we have the same shoes.
Oh my.
The framers gave more time, we were on original provisions, to the method for choosing the president than any other matter. It was, said James Wilson of Pennsylvania, the most difficult of all on which we have had to decide.
Yeah. Well, that's weird.
Wait, no, please, please.
Well, why do it again?
I think of,
We know anymore.
You have to find out if they really set you up by doing it again.
Yeah, he wouldn't expect him to.
not today. They're already, no, because they're already on edge. They're like, today we
No,
can't
they're
tell you.
not expecting it for a second.
Well, I don't know for a fact that he said it. Like, there were people who jumped, but I think that, I have a
They
feeling.
wouldn't be expecting it the second time.
Yeah.
That's true. I should take one of the leaf blowers.
Hey, don't
Lock it with the leaf blower. It's say, oh, I'm blowing on, oops, oh, that sounded weird. Okay.
Go do it for
Early in the convention, most of the delegates favored selection of by Congress. Later, nearly all delegates came to believe that congressional selection, as Alexander Hamilton said, put the president too much under the legislative thumb. So do you guys understand that? So early on, they thought, you know what, we're going to elect members of Congress, and the members of Congress could decide on the president. Hey, get to work. Could decide on the president. Alexander Hamilton said, what was the potential problem for that?
People are stupid.
Would you please stop? What's the potential problem of letting Congress pick the president?
Oh,
It'll put him too much under the legislative.
What does that mean? So if you guys picked me as president, and you guys were the only people at this whole school who made me president, how does that change the relationship between you and I?
We'd be in charge of you being there.
Possibly, right?
Yeah.
So I would have to bend to your will, right? I mean, that's kind of how the system works. Okay, so they tried to create a system, and the system that they had was the electoral college. But again, my question is, why not in a democracy allow the popular vote to decide on the president? Only a few of the framers favored choosing the president by popular vote. Nearly all agreed that such a process would lead to tumult and disorder. Most delegates felt too that the people scattered over so wide an area could not possibly know enough about the available candidates to make wise, informed choices. Guys, how is that different today?
Like, you have TV and the internet right now.
You have TV and the internet, right? So if the issue is that So if the issue is that people can't we go back to Trevor's debate. Trevor's point is people are too stupid, okay? Now, what I'm going to assume he means by that is people are too uninformed. But if we have TV and the internet, it doesn't matter if I'm some farmer living in the extreme edges of North Dakota, I would still have access to the same information, say, as Devin, if he was an accountant in, say, New York City, right?
I didn't mean uninformed and stupid. Like, people see something like, oh, it's instantly true, or they don't even care at all, and it's like CNN admitted that they were giving out fake news. Yet still, people still listen to them after that and still believe them. And it's like, wow,
Okay.
that doesn't make any sense. I simply don't understand people's logic with that.
So where do you get your news from?
A lot of different places.
Like what? Give me one.
I have
So
an
if you don't
app.
get it from
I have an
CNN.
app, and it gives you like tons of different articles from different places.
So are those articles being...
Very cool.
No, I'm asking you a question. Are those articles being gathered by a group, like one particular
No, it's like
organization?
public polling thing.
Okay, but my question to you is because someone has to create, see, when we talk about people, you're your own filter, right? You're sitting at home, guys, and you can decide what you watch, right? Now you turn on the internet, you turn on the TV, and you know that, you guys know Channel 3, what the various news sources, where do you guys get your news? So some people watch what they call network news, okay? That's the establishment media, right? NBC, CBS, and ABC.
Fox.
Okay, Fox Fox has now joined this establishment. Now, there's a big difference between the news on NBC, CBS, and ABC, the 5 o'clock news, the local news, and then the news that's on the Fox network, MSNBC network, CNN network, okay? And I think to say that one news organization has created, I think at various points all of them have.
Yeah, I think
They've
these
all been
people-
accused and proven to have. The New York Times has. Now, usually though,
But these people, they do, they see it, and they read it, and they're like, well, it's just instantly true, and then they re-report it without using their brains to think about it.
okay, well, that's a particular reason. Now, so my question is, how do you filter? So if you use an app, that's a type of filter, right?
No, it has like a section where you can go like at all the articles, it takes the majority of them that people read, like the most popular ones, and puts in a list.
So you're reading the most popular list
Yeah.
of articles. Now, how is that smart? Isn't that just populist?
Mhm.
I
But
don't
that
know.
doesn't mean just because I read it that I believe it, I still do research on it.
Well, then what difference does it make where it's CNN? What if, so,
But
okay,
the
so
point is,
what
the
if
majority of people
CNN?
don't do that.
What's that?
The point is, the majority of people don't do that kind of thing.
Okay.
Just like see one thing, it's always instantly true. Obviously, believe that, right?
Well, how many of you do that? How many of you read the news? Does anybody in here read the news? How do you read the news? Do you believe everything that you read? Do you question things? Do you ever compare articles? I think that's a
I
sweeping,
feel bad.
okay, but I think it's a sweeping generalization to say that I don't know what you mean by most people.
But most people I talk to,
Oh, how many people do you have, when you say most people you talk about, these adults or these peers,
both.
fellow students? Well, how many in a day?
I
Do you
don't
think
know,
it's a
many.
good sampling of the American population,
No.
No, it's sampling the local population.
of the local population? You know, and I don't know what the answer is. See, what I know is that a lot of people have a lot of different opinions. A lot of people use a lot of different sources, and then we process information differently. You know, and so my question to you is this: do you have a right to choose your elected officials? Like, if you think that the electoral vote or the congressional vote should be, then why do we have a vote? Why even bother voting? Do you like living in, I mean, do you think that the democratic system is the best system?
Yeah.
Yes or no?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you take away your power to vote, then isn't that the whole point of the system? Right, I keep telling you guys, what's the one thing that you have as a taxpayer? What's the one way you can wield your voice, your power? Through what act?
You vote.
Through vote. So let me ask you that now, that doesn't mean just because you vote that it isn't a mark of your intelligence, right?
Yeah.
It means you have this power as a citizen.
Who puts the electoral college in power?
Let's read. We're on page 365, over on the right-hand side. Most delegates felt too that the people scattered over so wide an area could not possibly know enough about the available candidates to make wise, informed choices. George Mason of Virginia spoke for most of his colleagues at the convention. The extent of the country renders it impossible that the people can have the requisite capacity to judge of the respective pretensions of the candidates. After weeks of debates, the framers finally agreed on a plan first put forward by Hamilton. Under it, the president and vice president were to be chosen by a special body of presidential electors. These electors would each cast two electoral votes, each for a different candidate. The candidate with the most votes would become president. The person with the second most votes would become vice president. And wouldn't that be interesting if we still had that in place? That means that what could have happened is that either Donald Trump would have been president and Hillary Clinton vice president, or vice versa. Could you imagine the two of them being forced? You know what? It might be terrible. Do you think that it could force the type of compromise that this country needs?
Yeah.
Or it could make the government counterproductive.
You think it would just lead to total chaos and,
No, I have no idea what would happen.
yeah, we have no idea, but we know that that's not the way we do it, but I think it would be interesting. The
It
framers,
was at one point, they changed it to not be that way, so like this is something not.
the framers intended the electors to be, ready for this, Trevor? The most enlightened and respectable citizens from each state. They were to be free agents in choosing the people, best qualified to fill the nation's two highest offices. And now, as we know, the electors are from the given parties. The Republicans, so you have Republican electors, because we basically have a two-party system, right? What are the two parties? Nico, what's one of the main parties in the United States?
Republican.
The Republican Party. Devin, what's the other party?
Democrat.
The Democrats. So what happens is our electors become either Republicans or Democrats. It's not the most respectable and intelligent and enlightened people, but it's whatever party, whatever president wins that electoral vote, those electors get to go. So what happens is, at various points, you might have a president that wins the electoral vote. That wins the right to an electoral vote, but may not always get the electoral vote, depending on what the candidates do. Now, they're always going to get the electoral votes, because we know people vote their party. Most people, okay?
What if they do like a betrayal?
What if they do a betrayal? Sometimes they do. I believe in one or two states there were Republicans electors who voted against Donald Trump. And then they have to, endure the wrath of their party members. Maybe they don't care. I don't know.
But, well,
The rise of parties. Let me read this. This is on page 366. The Electoral College, then, is the group of people chosen from each state and the District of Columbia to formally select the president and vice president. The original version of the Electoral College worked as the framers intended only as George Washington was willing to seek and hold the presidency. Okay? So, we had flaws, and I want to jump to the 12th Amendment, page 367. Okay? The election of 1800 produced another notable result, the 12th Amendment. This amendment was added to the Constitution in 1804 to make certain there would never be such a fiasco. The amendment is lengthy, but it made only one major change in the Electoral College system. It separated the presidential and vice presidential elections. The electors shall name in their ballots the person voted for as president, and in district ballots the person voted for as vice president. Okay, and so what you guys have to understand now, each state gets so many electoral votes. Okay? Each state, and that's based on population, not based on the size of the state.
Like physically
All right.
or like population?
No, not physically. Alaska is a massive, it's the largest state, and has a really small electoral vote.
Yeah.
Okay? So it's based on population size. So California has the highest number of electoral votes. Okay?
about 55.
That sounds right. I think that's what it was at this last, so I'm trying to see if we have a map.
I think it's there.
An electoral map. Do you see an electoral map?
On 367.
On 367. Well, that's an electoral map of what?
1800. That was 200 years ago.
217.
Ah, yes. At the current year, yes. I'm just saying generally.
Yeah.
So let's go back to page 264. So you guys, how long is a term in Congress go? 7 years. How many years is a term?
Both.
Ty? How many years is a term in Congress? What's that? Excellent. 2 years. How many sessions within each year? How many sessions of Congress? How many times does Congress meet to create legislation?
What page are we on?
264. So we're going back. You asked a question about the Electoral College, so we answered it. Why? And so Trevor, basically the debate continues, right?
Yeah.
You have the debate over what, so I think what Xavier was talking about, Xavier, correct me if I'm wrong, is that if Trevor is making the generalization that people are too stupid
I think
to
that,
be allowed this responsibility, and what you're saying is, well, how we've evolved is that we've evolved through the media, through access to information, right? So the original framers felt that people who were spread out over too far of an area, and basically what they were saying is this is the underlying message. People in the country shouldn't be deciding on what people in the city can or can't do. Because the city, of course, is the place where commerce is taking place. Okay?
I know, but.
Alright, so, but now you could live in the country and you have access to information like somebody in the city has,
Like TV and internet.
okay? And there's newspapers too. I mean, I imagine most people though, these days get their source of information electronically. Alright.
Yeah, and like the rural areas, they get like newspaper, a little bit more newspaper percentage.
So I gotta put, oh, here. So, how many sessions within a congressional term?
2.
2 sessions per term. Tyler? Yeah, so a total of 4. I said a congressional term. We're not talking about a year, we're talking about a term. How long is a term? 2 years. There's 2 sessions per year, so that's a total of 4. So a congressman, depending on what part of the cycle they're in, can be voting on something for 2 straight years. Okay? And of course, we know that House of Representatives members, how long is their term? Guys? 2 years.
2.
How long is the term for a senator?
6.
6 years. Okay? So they can be there through 3 cycles, basically. All right. And I have a question for Tyler. Tyler, so if we've had 2 sessions in Congress, is there the opportunity to have more than 2 sessions within 1 year? And if so, who can call it, and what is the vehicle called?
What vehicle?
You're gonna take me literally, aren't you? Are you red round? You know what that?
Yeah, I know what
Okay, don't get rapey. I mean, I exactly. Then you look at me, you're going like this. And I
that
thought,
movie made me so uncomfortable. Yeah. But it was so weird.
that isn't what I was trying to do.
I'm sorry. You did it.
So who can call? What's the vehicle? The vehicle is called a special session. Ernesto, who can call a special session? There you go. The president can call.
How is that a vehicle?
It's just a term.
It's a term. So let's say you want a law that's passed, like, let's say right now, we're gonna go to war with North Korea, and there's debate between, say, the Republicans and the Democrats over how we should handle the situation,
In the UN.
okay? Now, the president has special powers that the president can declare war, or the president can get Congress to declare war in conjunction with the president. And it's probably in any given office, any given administration, you're probably better off, especially if you're going to impose a draft, you're better off having Congress behind you. Does this make sense, guys?
Yeah.
Because who voted in the members of Congress? Do they use an electoral college for that? Okay, so that's popular votes in members of Congress. So you're gonna have, like, really, that's where you're going to see the will of the people. Okay? But the president can call a special session, especially for some kind of emergency or some really pressing issue. Okay.
Will the United Nations deal with stuff after?
And then we're gonna finish, tomorrow. Okay, so we got a party tomorrow. So we got candy, we got brains and soda, we got Pringles. And then there was one other thing, cookies.
Yeah.
Are you bringing cookies?
Yeah.
If I show up tomorrow and I'm the only one who's brought something, I'm going to make you guys watch me eat 2 cans of Pringles all by myself. In fact, I'm gonna have you guys sit on the floor at my feet, and I'm gonna have each of you feed me 1 Pringle
What are you gonna
until
feed
both cans, we got 2 hours tomorrow, until both cans of Pringles are done. That guy's not even listening to damn what I said. I don't blame him. Why, no. These books go over there.
No, you brought it from there, so I'm gonna bring it where you got it from.
You're welcome.
Mr. Wallace,
Yes.
tomorrow I have PE first period, so could I come, for, right before first
To
period?
drop off your cookies
Yeah.
first period, yes you may. You gonna be able to remember that?
Yeah,
Have you let anyone know that you're bringing cookies?
I will.
You might, you're gonna just throw that at someone tonight? That may go over like a fart in church, but okay,
That's fine.
don't throw that.
I'll throw it, give it to me, I'll throw it.
Do not throw that. I don't want it to poke somebody. You know what? I will have a problem with that if you do. I'm asking you not to throw it.
Throw it outside.
Throw it outside, that you can do. I'll take it outside. Is that your freaking homework?
That's so,